From Devontae Pack snitching on his childhood friend to the player's career getting caught in a downward spiral, here are all the latest details on Ja Morant's physical attack. Get ready for some drama, because Devontae Pack's recent deposition gives us a closer look at Morant's criminal case. If you don't know who this Pack guy is, he's a childhood friend of Morant's, and he just happened to be in the middle of the chaos when everything went down. According to reports, Pack revealed that Morant did throw a punch at Holloway, but only after the teenager had the nerve to square up to Morant. Pack himself confessed to landing a hit on Holloway, causing the poor kid to fall to the ground, which is allegedly when a few other players jumped the 17-year-old. According to the police report submitted by Holloway, they stomped and kicked him around a dozen times, leaving him with a lot of injuries, including a fist-sized knot on the side of his head. Pack also admitted he pulled Morant away from the squabble, telling him they shouldn't be doing this, but to be fair, that's something he should have said before hitting a kid. But that's not all, because according to Pack, once they backed away from the kid, he threatened to come back and light it up like fireworks before getting up and leaving. I know you're thinking that some of this info isn't groundbreaking, because we've already heard most of it, but Pack's deposition spilled even more details that help us understand the whole situation better, connecting the dots between the multiple witness reports and police notes.
I've been doing, Reiki treatment. I've been doing anxiety breathing, different stuff to, help me manage that and, release, all that stuff from my body.
Let's not forget that every story has two sides, though. According to transcripts from his interview with the police, Morant insisted that he acted in self-defense. Though he admitted to throwing the first swing, he painted the teenager as the aggressor, saying the kid had thrown the ball straight at his head and stepped closer, which made him feel threatened. Morant also filed a police report in response to Holloway's threat to his family, which is not something to be taken lightly. Still, while the detectives did mention the accusation about Morant's gun, they didn't specifically ask him if the description of events was accurate, choosing to focus on other aspects of the investigation. Even Morant's agent, Jim Tanner, called the allegations unsubstantiated rumors and gossip, suggesting that some people were trying to tear Ja down for their own financial gain. Tanner firmly stood by his client, and he agreed that the incident with the teenage boy was purely an act of self-defense, while also reminding that no charges were brought against Ja. Even his legal team isn't taking this case lightly. They recently filed a motion to dismiss the civil case, backing up Morant on his claim of self-defense, arguing that Morant should be granted civil immunity under the state of Tennessee's self-defense immunity law. If you didn't get that, it's fancy legal mumbo-jumbo for the court to let him walk free. They also explained that the only reason Morant went into his house and returned with a gun was just as a precaution in case Holloway wanted to put his words into action. But what about the physical assault that took place before that, you may ask? His attorneys claim that was also an act of self-defense, just enough to shield himself from any further harm. Hell, they even argued that it wasn't a knockout punch, more like a love tap that barely made the kid flinch. All in all, the case is still active, and there's no finish line in sight yet, so expect to hear a lot more on this topic in the future. Even Morant's father, T. Morant, joined the mix and gave his statement. Turns out the old man's got interesting details to share, because not only was cooking up refreshments for the boys out front at the time, he might have accidentally started the fight between his son and Holloway itself. It was T who encouraged Holloway to take on Ja during the game, which eventually led to the scuffle. That's right, T didn't expect the kid to take it that far though, so you can't really blame him for anything. The guy just wanted the kids to have fun. T also gave his opinion on the fight, explaining that it wasn't that big of a deal. In fact, he even went ahead and had a chat with Holloway's parents once the whole incident had died down, that is. And guess what? Both sides agreed that the two ballers needed to sit down and hash out their differences. Aside from T, though, a few of Ja's other buddies were also there. Alexander Ndon Blue and Christopher Chip Brunt gave their statements to the police as well. Turns out that all three of these guys had also heard Holloway threaten, in one way or another, to shoot up the Morant household, which helps Morant. Looks like the stage is set for that self-defense clause to work its charm. But, considering how testimonies from friends and family aren't admissible in court, Morant's gonna need some more witnesses to step forward and speak in his favor, something we might see in the coming days. For now, though, you'd be surprised to know that this isn't the first time Morant's gotten in trouble with guns. It all started back in March of 2023, when the Grizzlies star decided to go live on Instagram. But instead of showing off his dance moves or cute pets, he took it to a whole new level by waving a gun around in a Colorado strip club.
ball playing.
You'd think that kind of behavior would come with serious consequences, and you'd be right because the NBA did not take it lightly, dropping the hammer and suspending Morant for 8 games without pay. Ouch. They called it conduct detrimental to the league, and boy did Morant feel the burn. Interestingly enough, the star managed to dodge any criminal charges related to the incident, though the Colorado police did release a statement expressing their concern over the incident, but that's about it. Morant then entered a counseling program shortly after the incident, and just a few days later, he gave an interview where he claimed he doesn't support violence of any kind, and he took full responsibility for his actions.
It's not who I am. I don't condone any type of violence, but I take full responsibility for my actions. Made a bad mistake.
But it looks like with great responsibility comes greater stupidity, because just a couple of months later in May, the Grizzlies had to step in once again, because another video surfaced online showing Morant flashing a gun during an Instagram live session. The team wasted no time suspending Morant from all team activities pending a league review, and this time, the punishment was even more severe, getting slapped with an additional 25-game suspension. That's a whole lot of missed court time. With his recent incident marking his third gun-related crime, it's going to be interesting to see how the NBA reacts, because 3 strikes and you're out, right? So what does this mean for Morant's career? If you're worried about the Grizzlies struggling without their star point guard, don't worry, because this team knows how to hold its own, even in his absence. Believe it or not, they've racked up an impressive 33-17 record in the games he's missed. Hell, even in the past season, the Grizzlies went 11-10 in the games Ja was sidelined in, including the playoffs. These guys are proving all the haters wrong, showing that they're more than just a one-man show. There's some exciting news for Morant too, because the guy's about to embark on a whole new phase in his career, with his massive 5-year, $194 million max contract kicks in this upcoming season. Now that's some serious cash right there. But if Ja had made the All-NBA team this season, his contract could have skyrocketed to a supermax deal. And sadly, since that dream didn't become a reality, that means he's looking at $39 million in potential earnings only. Yep, you heard me right. That's a whopping $151 million short of the original jackpot. So he might be securing a bag, but it's a whole lot lighter than it could have been. And it's not just NBA contracts that Ja's missing out on, since some of his big-name sponsors, including Nike and Powerade, have also decided to pull back their endorsements. Powerade even yanked one of their ads featuring him, especially after that incident back in March. As of now, that ad is nowhere to be seen. As for Nike, the megacorp released a statement that they'd continue to support the star, as long as he gets professional help, that is. Let's hope they can sort things out and get back on track soon. So, there you have it. From the player's career getting caught in a downward spiral, to Devontae Pack snitching on his childhood friend, these were all the latest details on Ja Morant's physical attack.